consensus about most of the policies of the U.S. government, like endless war, for example.
So if Whitney Webb wants to bash our country, then she should move her ass here instead of hiding in Chile, okay? Let me explain. While everybody in the world carried on about Whitney Webb, she's so smart. She is. She is very intelligent woman. So that's what dumbfounded me. That was the first red flag to how she could also be so stupid. Yeah. So she'd talk about Roy Cohn, who was a lawyer to Trump, and how he was tied to organized crime, and then Trump and this, and it's like, I've listened to her, a couple of times because she's very good at what she does. Very good. I think she's CIA asset. We don't know who her parents are. We know nothing about her. But as far as this goes, it's like if you're going to critique America's policies, then why don't you move your ass back here, Whitney Webb? Because I think she hides in Chile. Okay. So anyway, because she knows what she's doing is bullshit. That's what I think. So Donald Trump helped take down organized crime in New York. Like, that was known long before he ran. It is. He did. He helped take down the 5 families because he told law enforcement, use my hotels, use my casinos. They're always in here doing business. Yeah, he did. There's a lot of things he's helped law enforcement long before he was president. Never once does the bitch mention that. Never once. Okay? So that's a red flag. So don't play like you're so smart and intelligent, but you want to leave those details out. Because when you leave those details out, you're doing it because you're trying to frame Trump. And she hates Trump. She does. She's never come out and say that, but you could tell. Like, she'll give. I mean, RFK Jr. was on. He went fossil hunting. Seriously, he said it in an interview, in a podcast when he was running for the presidency. He's like, yeah, I went fossil hunting with Ghislaine and Jeffrey Epstein, but Jeffrey Epstein stayed in the car. He was on his plane. I'm not saying he did anything wrong. But they give him a pass, again, because all these people protect the Kennedys. But then they go after Trump left and right. So, and she's done it since day one. But that's she was the beginning of attaching all this crap to it. And the more she went on in interviews, like as time went on, she added more and added more. Yeah, she's put out a couple books with a bunch of bullshit in it. Does she have some truth in there? Yeah, of course she does. They take some truth and they wrap a whole bunch of bullshit around it because a lot of it is just her opinion. So she leaves the part that out, okay? Then she leaves out, okay, the fact that Donald Trump said so many times, especially during his first term, that I'm an insider. You need an insider to take it down. Again, if she is such a smart woman, why is she so stupid in that area? Okay? Then, the other thing was for a long time, she wouldn't just say, it's like, when did Epstein get arrested, Whitney? Under Trump's watch. Instead, she started turning that, and Epstein got murdered under Trump's. So, she has a total bias while she comes off to people like she doesn't. And then she hides in Chile, okay? She won't even, when I say we don't know anything, we don't even know the names of her parents. She won't disclose them. She's tied to intelligence. She has been. That's why she's so good. But where she's so good is where she trips up. Because her bias is so obvious. Her intention of what she's doing is so obvious. And her even greater intention is to take down all billionaires. Now, I know many people would like that, but I mean, I'm sure not every billionaire deserves just to have their reputations ruined because she's a Marxist communist. Okay? So, but Is some of the stuff she says, yes, there's this corruption that goes on, yes. Do the wealthy get away? Yes, they do. But I mean, again, Jesus told you this. Jesus told you the world you were living in, so it shouldn't be a surprise. I'm not saying that then corruption should be overlooked. I'm saying that she's added a bunch of things as time goes on. And that's part of the Democrat hoax. But I was at first, because she's so good, she can pull you into that bullshit. Because a lot of it she's saying is true. Where I catch her is the parts she leaves off. Like, if she's so smart and intelligent, then how can she not figure out that since Trump helped take down organized crime in New York, and Jeffrey Epstein got arrested under Trump's first term, and I mean, I've said how I'm a nurse, I know Trump was eradicating trafficking. I mean, I literally saw it. I took care of some of the people like that because of a safe house in my county, all tied to his executive orders. So she leaves those details out that are important so that you can have a full picture. Instead, the half picture she gives you is like that every billionaire or every millionaire in the world is corrupt, and that every deal is shady. And I'm not saying a lot of them aren't, but when she leaves the most important pieces out about Donald Trump and how he's helped law enforcement, then she's doing it on purpose. That's what she is, part of that Democrat hoax. She is, because she came out in like 2020. She had just had a baby and she was at home because of lockdowns and decided to start looking into all this. No, she's classic intelligence, really. Look, most of these podcasts are tied. They're either intelligence, former intelligence, retired intelligence, or they're controlled by intelligence. Because at this point, the podcasters, they're worse than the mainstream media when it comes to propaganda. They are. And that became obvious with the Israel stuff, because when you see all the podcasters parroting just like the mainstream media did, and all about Israel, then you know they're controlled too. But that's the other thing. She started then attaching Mossad, okay? And she'll pull you into believing it because of Ghislaine Maxwell and Robert Maxwell. But again, a lot of it is her opinion. It is. She says that. She's like, well, the places where I have to fill in the holes, I do. Right. So she can bring you these connections, which may be corrupt or may not be, but then she fills in her own opinion to everything else. If you don't pay attention, then, I mean, she'll say it, but, so she's full of shit. She hides in Chile. That's why she wouldn't do that shit here. But I hate when Americans move overseas. You move out of America and then you want to critique our politics. Yeah, don't, shut up. Of course she won't. But she was put on all platforms. Glenn Beck even had her on. Early on. So that is the problem with Whitney Webb, is that she's so smart that she's stupid. Because she leaves the important... Every time she talks about Trump, she just makes him out to be like he's this criminal crook. That's the Democrat hoax. That's why they tied all this crap to Epstein. And she is a big part of it, which is likely why she lives in Chile.